It is a Wednesday night of bright smiles for some, relief for others, and re-engagement of the pots and pans for another set of people. Welcome to NTA's News Top Table. Tonight, felicitations are in the air as Nigerians congratulate Muslims on the successful completion of the Ramadan fast. We have stories depicting the very essence of the season as Nigerians come together in the face of challenges. Also tonight, we will focus upgrade of some infrastructure as well as youths who have obeyed the clarion call to lift the nation high. We will also nurse the ideals of healthcare services as we celebrate the International Nurses Day. There is also a dip into politics with the creation of polling units on the front burner. I dare say you are in pole position for a treat. But don't take my word for it. Just strap yourself in for the journey. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umaruba, and this is News Extra. I welcome you. President Muhammadu Buhari sends his best wishes to Nigerians and Muslims across the globe as they mark the Eid al-Fitr celebration following the completion of a month fast. A message by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Gabriel Shehu, says President Buhari, while praying that the Eid festival brings with it peace, safety, security, brotherhood and love amongst all, sues for unity and solidarity among all citizens in order to surmount multiple challenges confronting the country. The president reminds Nigerians of the common bonds shared through faiths that should be used to foster unity rather than succumb to the antics of those using the two great religions for their selfish advantages. President Buhari encourages Nigerians to jointly pray against rising cases of kidnapping, banditry, and the desperate quest for political power expressed through blackmail against the existence of the country as a united entity. He also urges Nigerians to continue to observe all COVID-19 preventive measures and celebrate responsibly during the holidays. In the meantime, a cross-section of Kaduna residents reacting to Salah message by President Buhari say it is inspirational and reassuring to Nigerians, especially his call for Nigerians to work together for unity despite differences while praying against evil capable of compromising security of the nation. Achari Maxwell has that.
As the celebration manifests, there is the need to exemplify lessons learned during Ramadan for peace and prosperity of the nation. Stakeholders say fellow Nigerians should continue to listen to the leadership on all issues affecting their well-being.
We have to forge peace among ourselves to ensure the differences we have so that we live in peace, tranquility, and prosperity. And this is the time now to live together, to embrace each other, and to shun all form of evil, which is bedeviling the nation now.
Christians and Muslims in Nigeria must close ranks, come together, avoid the distractions, and fight a common enemy. We have a common enemy who is destroying us. We have a common enemy who is trying to kill our country. We have a common enemy who is trying to impoverish us. We have a common enemy who is trying to take us backward.
With fair share of security challenges in Kaduna State, stakeholders say prayers as demanded by the president is key towards surmounting the challenges.
We are finishing our fasting today, and therefore we would pray. And the Christians have finished theirs. I'm sure they have also prayed. And I think really God will find a solution for us.
Nigerians are very religious, are very committed, are very close to God, strongly believe in God. So the only way out today, as I speak to you, is to go into deep and serious prayers for God to intervene into the affairs of this nation.
More people speak on the way forward.
Let's we are in the government to join and face our enemies, both the Christian and the Muslim, because things that are happening, we are not happy at all.
advise others to do, especially our religious leaders, our parents. Let them stop putting our mind mostly into religion, telling us that this one is not a Christian, this one is not a Muslim, to let us know that we are Nigeria first.
Yeah, we should all come together and fight the common enemy.
With ease of lockdown, celebrants are expected to adhere to health stipulations amidst peace and harmony. If there's any time that Nigerians need to live together regardless religion or ethnic affiliation, is now. The need for peaceful coexistence can never be overemphasized. As it is, the prayers on the lips of many is that Nigeria remain one indivisible entity. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
Sure, we are Nigerians first. Now, with the successful completion of the 2021 Ramadan fast by Muslims across the world, heads of government institutions and organizations felicitate with Muslims during the celebration of Eid al-Fitr with a call for a renewed commitment to nation building. Gufan Shaji compiled some of these messages and now reports.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has shared the moment with the Muslim Ummah in Nigeria on the completion of this year's Ramadan fast, while assuring Nigerians that the government, including the National Assembly, will not waver in the effort to provide robust security in the country. The President of the Senate wishes all Muslim faithful a joyful and peaceful celebration, praying Almighty Allah to reward them for the sacrifice and grant their earnest wishes. Meanwhile, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has urged Nigerians, especially Muslims, to use the period of Eid al-Fitr to pray for the country to overcome her challenges, as he wishes all Muslims a peaceful Salah celebration. He called for vigilance and caution while observing the auspicious season. APC leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has also felicitated with Muslims over the completion of this year's Ramadan fast, urging Muslims in Nigeria and across the world to remember President Muhammadu Buhari and his government in prayers, that his government be given the requisite strength and wisdom to protect the nation, surmount the challenges that confront the nation, and help establish Nigeria as a more prosperous and just nation. The Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammad Magyari Dingyadi, used the opportunity provided by the celebration to assure Nigerians of government's commitment to the ideals of a strong, united, peaceful and prosperous Nigeria, where citizens will realize their full potentials while respecting the law. He also enjoins the Muslim faithful to bring to bear lessons learnt in the month of Ramadan to foster unity, peace and tolerance. The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Boboye Oyeyemi, also lent his voice to the chorus of good wishes. Oyeyemi congratulated the Muslim faithful on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr, stressing the need to sustain the spirit of love, kindness and unity demonstrated in the holy month. He enjoined motorists to celebrate with caution and respect all the road users as a mark of brotherly love and care for one another. He assured members of the public of the high level of preparedness by the Corps to ensure safer roads for all travelers during the celebration. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NT.
We head to Sokoto now. With the heightened level of insecurity in the country, proactiveness is the key. And so, preparatory to the Eid al-Fitr celebration in Sokoto State, security operatives are pledging a hitch-free celebration. Shehu Mohammed tells us how.
Apart from ensuring safety of lives and property during the festive period, vehicular movement and activities of hoodlums are things to worry about. State Commissioner of Police Kamaluddin Kola and heads of other security agencies in the state have assured a prompt response to any eventuality.
We are fully ready for the Salah celebration, and we have done our operation order. We are going to deploy about 750 policemen to different parts of Sokoto to make sure that the Salah celebration is pitch-free. We've made adequate arrangements, bearing in mind the COVID-19 protocol, to deploy again across all the flashy areas.
We will sustain the collaboration up to the end of the Eid festivity. The Central Eid Praying Ground and other areas in the metropolis have taken a new look with decorations in anticipation of the festive period. Tonton is a popular tradition of contributing for meat sharing among friends, colleagues, and family members. A visit to some areas in the metropolis shows people sharing their slaughtered animal, signifying unity and the easing of cost of meat during the festive period. The Sokoto Central Market and other satellite markets were full of hustle and bustle with people making last-minute purchases. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Still in the spirit of the season, a group supporting President Muhammad Buhari, Baba for All, has flagged off the distribution of bags of rice to residents across the 16 local government areas of Kwara State. Damilola Balogun Elebio has the details.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak officially kickstarted the exercise with symbolic presentation of some bags of rice to the beneficiaries, who are mostly vulnerable people. Governor Abdurrahman noted the president's developmental strides in spite of the meager resources available to his administration. The state coordinator of Buhari for All and the business mogul, Jani Ibrahim, said the food distribution was designed to promote the good works of the present administration at the grassroots. He called that President Buhari rolled out different social investment programs to mitigate the effect of hardship on the downtrodden and lauded the state government for being on the same page with the federal government in its poverty alleviation programs.
This is a very important aspect of Ramadan, that during Ramadan you help the underprivileged, the sick, the people who don't have the means, so it's a month of sacrifice. And we are using that, to promote the good deeds of Mr. President.
Some beneficiaries lauded the gesture.
I think it's a very wonderful idea. It's a very wonderful development.
We are happy with this gesture. God bless them.
They, however, appealed to wealthy individuals in the country to join the crusade. According to the group, about 25,000 residents of the state are being targeted to benefit from the gesture so as to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr in a joyous mood. Damilola Balogun Elebio, NTA News.
Public holidays are often characterized by family outings and get-togethers at one recreational sport or the other. However, today's holiday, coming on the 30th day of Ramadan, makes one wonder how people are spending their time ahead of tomorrow's Eid al-Fitr celebration. Well, Ekene Ndulue went to town to find out.
It's another holiday, this time in commemoration of the Eid al-Fitr. It's a time for workers to take a breather and spend quality time with family and friends. Uncharacteristic of public holidays in Abuja, some recreational centers we visited were devoid of the usual hustle and bustle. Arriving the home of Hajia Hassana Abubakar, it dawns on us that, like the Abubakars, many more families could just be spending the day at home in preparation for tomorrow's Salah celebration.
Today is public holiday and it's not Salah. So we have to be at home now praying, because when you are fasting, you are not even expected to mingle too much. So as for you not to say what you are not supposed to say, you are supposed to be in one place, either pray, sleep, and I think these two activities are the major activities we do during fasting.
Could there also be religious explanations for our findings? We went to find out.
I even ordered my people not to celebrate any Salah today, because today is not Salah. We have to wait for official announcement.
Since that we are still in the month of Ramadan, they would use this opportunity to continue supplicating, prayers, recitation of the Holy Quran.
As Muslim faithful prepare for the Salah celebration, clerics say this is the time for sober reflection and prayer for restoration of peace in the country. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
As you're aware, tomorrow is the main day for celebrating the Eid al-Fitr. Well, activities are in top gear as the Muslim faithful prepare for the 2021 Eid al-Fitr celebration. And Mariam Jajitabo brings us a compiled report heralding the Salah celebration in the FCT.
With the recent announcement by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 on the fourth phase lockdown restrictions on social and religious gatherings to 50% capacity, Serafina Okon Umekwe took a look at adherence to safety protocols in preparation to Eid al-Fitr celebration.
Over the years, Islamic faithfuls gathered at this Eid ground to pray, usually 30 days after the fast, in preparatory for the Salah celebrations. And in this year, 2021, the Presidential Steering Committee has released a guidelines restricting worshippers to 50% capacity.
Meanwhile, Nigerian Auta reports that the FCT Police Command deployed personnel to strategic locations such as the recreational parks, worship centers, and major highways to ensure a hitch-free Salah celebration.
Commissioner of Police CP Balachi Roma has ordered uninterrupted patrols, diligent stop and search operations, coordinated intelligence-based crime-fighting strategies ahead of the celebration.
And with the two-day public holiday declared by the federal government for the Salah celebration, passengers are taking advantage of the holiday to travel and celebrate with loved ones. Hawa Gimba, Rosemary Moltel Bilal visited the Idu train station and some parks for a situation report.
It's much safer.
This is the last resort for us now. As you can see, virtually all the seats have been filled.
The holiday, I need to go and spend time with my family.
I just want to see my sister and visit.
Taking a look at the mood of the city, Hadiza Godwin Ebuni reports that major streets in the Federal Capital Territory were devoid of usual human and vehicular activities.
The road is free. Some have even traveled out of the city already.
And there's no customer coming in.
And with the Salah celebration comes shopping, as Rosemary Moltelembila reports that prices of food items skyrocketed in major markets in the FCT.
The prices have all gone up.
To buy a carton of fish, 18,000, but now we are buying 36.
It is hoped that the lessons learnt during the Ramadan will go beyond the holy month. Mariam George, Jitubo.
Thank you so much, Mariam, for that. Now, in one of his books, William Shakespeare says, no legacy is so rich and as honesty. This attribute of morality, which seems to be in short supply, manifested in Lafayette recently. And Ben Mitu captures the two scenarios of young, honest Nigerians in this report.
Honesty is a facet of strong moral character which connotes positive virtues with attributes such as integrity, truthfulness, sincerity, fairness, and straightforwardness, with absence of lying, cheating, and theft. A list of honest Nigerians who have found large sums of money and other valuables and returned same to their owners is endless. Like the story of Haruna John, a member of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, who found a new Android phone worth 58,000 naira and returned it to the owner.
I pick phone for grant. So as how they come call me. Come I direct them the place where they to come collect them phone.
Like the story of Haruna, Samson Palm is a builder who worked on a construction site and was overpaid. On discovering it, he returned the balance.
So as she gave me the money, it's over. So I went to share the money with my colleague. Then I see the money is over. I say, okay, let me take it back to her again.
Mrs. Rebecca Odonye is the owner of the phone who said she bought it barely 2 weeks ago, saying that God has paid her back for what she has been doing to others, having found and returned 13 phones to their owners.
Immediately I discovered I lost my phone. I used a colleague's phone and called. Somebody picked the phone. On the third time, he described where we will meet him to collect the phone. So I came, met him, and he offered me the phone.
The two honest gentlemen who advised others to follow suit gave reasons why they chose to be different. The rewards for honesty are enormous and sometimes outlived a lifetime, as in the words of Thomas Jefferson, honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. In Lafia, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
Sure, honesty pays any day, any time. Community Development Service is one of the 4 cardinal programs of the National Youth Service Corps scheme, and for 47 years, this has been complementing government's effort at improving standard of living of host communities. Youth Corps members, either in groups or as individuals, embark on different community services ranging from development of infrastructure to mass literacy and sensitization as their contributions towards making communities, especially at the grassroots, better. Olainka Ojo in this report takes a look at some contributions of Youth Corps members that have now made the NYSC to introduce a special reward system for those that have made outstanding contributions.
The goals of many young people in life are fame, fortune, or both. For the National Youth Service Corps, however, it is all about selfless service and giving back to the society. This explains why community service is mandatory for Youth Corps members. Apart from group CDS, individual corps members are encouraged to undertake community services. Open defecation is associated with diseases and even deaths, and Nigeria has been battling to end the practice.
I've been looking out to see how we can help in one way or the other.
This 4-unit toilet facility at Dakwa community on the boundary of the Federal Capital Territory and Niger State is constructed by this Youth Corps member as his contribution to that effort.
We want this facility to be maintained, and the only way to maintain it is ensuring that there is steady water in the environment.
This is one out of several community development service projects by Youth Corps members across the country.
Over time, the NYSC scheme has proved to be a catalyst for national development.
Community development service activities are, however, said to be dwindling due to poor incentives for Youth Corps members that execute such projects and lack of support from community leaders.
Ultimately, when you finish your youth service and you look back, if you have not participated fully in the CDS, you will have denied yourself the joy, the true joy of service.
Our effort to reinvigorate the CDS are meant to bring the conduct of its activities in tandem with global best practices.
NYSC is optimistic that repositioning community development service and stakeholders' involvement will make greater impacts and once again see a rush by Youth Corps members to leave a mark in communities where they served. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Up ahead on News Extra, a 6th-time president and the beginning of his new contract with his people. Who is he? Find out. Plus, the conversation on salary harmonization that should interest you, especially if you are one of those civil servants who earnestly wish your organization could find a place among the league of those with the fat salary. Join us for more when News Extra returns shortly. Welcome back. African leaders have been reminded that economic and political integration is of utmost importance in addressing issues of prosperity and strategic security in Africa. President Yoweri Museveni said this during his swearing-in and inauguration ceremony for another term in office held in Kampala, Uganda. State House correspondent Judy Onifade reports that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the occasion.
Here we are at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, venue for the swearing-in and inauguration ceremonies of Yoweri Museveni, who is being sworn in for the 6th time as a democratically elected president. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is flying the country's flag at this occasion, and he is here congratulating President Museveni on behalf of Nigeria. 11 other presidents are attending physically, while many others are being represented. The lowering of this flag signifies the end of a journey that began in 1986 and a continuation of another 5 years term with the taking of oath of office and allegiance. In a speech titled Securing Your Future, President Museveni wants African countries to form synergy for economic and political development.
We can defend Africa if we act together and act right.
Africa, he says, would be more stronger economically and possibly politically with all boundaries on trade and other issues removed. Now, behind me is Lake Victoria, cool and calm this day. And one do hope that after this inauguration, the political scene here in Uganda will be as cool and calm as this lake. From Montoyo in Uganda, Jide Unifade, NT News.
Generation and distribution in private hands. But in between is transmission managed by the government, and here lies a major challenge. Aged transmission lines leading to stranded power and systems collapse. Joshua Ojito, however, reports that the federal government is rising to the occasion through financial intervention as the Federal Executive Council sees the urgency of intervention on power lines.
Generation high, distribution low, no thanks to obsolete transmission infrastructure. Industry records show that at some point in 2016, generation was up to 10,000 megawatts, but the lines can only bear 3,500 megawatts, leading to huge losses for the generation companies and poor supply for the consumer, with the business war bearing the brunt.
In the midst of many competing national demands, the power sector still found favor in the presence of the Federal Executive Council. 6.2 billion naira approved for the upgrade of the transmission arm of the value chain.
Critical spare parts for transformers are to be designed, manufactured and supplied, with battery banks and chargers for substations, as well as 50 sets of isolators to be procured.
It's going to bring a very remarkable improvement in the supply of electricity in the country. And you know, with electricity, businesses boom.
It will improve on, transmission or cascading of power between generation at the upstream down to the downstream.
Also to be designed, supplied and installed are optical ground wire and universal optical transportation network system for some critical transmission lines and the upgrade of Ogba substation in Lagos, among others.
The government has done everything that it needs to do in terms of giving the necessary support.
All this procurement is geared towards upgrades of the transmission system.
So our first priority is to make sure that all the ongoing projects are completed.
6.2 billion naira for the transmission lines is expected to come with longer period of brightness on the bulbs. In Abuja, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Many thanks, Joshua. Federal government's renewed commitment to striking a balance in the salary structure of the Nigerian workforce has continued to enthuse stakeholders in nation's labor and economic cycles. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that this resonated on NTA's Tuesday Live program. And here is Akwanga.
The disparity in the salary structures of Nigerian workers has been a basis for continued agitations for improved scale by many labor groups. The announcement by the federal government to harmonize the structures was received with joy in many quarters.
The agitation and argument had been, what are the bases that we have used to actually arrive at some allowances or even adjust salary structure where you have somebody on grade level 10 And because the cadres are different, somebody is earning higher than another.
You create harmony between the goals of the employer and the employee. Everybody recognizes that if we increase the revenues, if we grow the revenues, then we have a stake in it.
Experts on NTA Current Affairs program Tuesday Live say the decision is a step in the right direction, as harmonized salary will bring industrial harmony, increase economic activities, and improve staff welfare.
A factor that will determine how far we move is ordinarily should be productivity. If I'm more productive, then ordinarily I should move faster and I should move further in the context of remuneration and salary or wages than any other person.
We have decided to move ahead in the commission to look at productivity improvement schemes. Not you asking all the time, I want more money, I want more salaries, I want more allowances.
The discussants are of the opinion that harmonizing salaries will not only facilitate industrial harmony, but also improve national productivity and development. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
The clamor for an improved service delivery from employees in all strata of engagement rests on the availability of a conducive working environment and good remuneration, while stakeholders throw their weight behind productivity as a key indicator to measure performance of employees. They call for review in the huge disparity adopted in the mode of payment across government agencies. Abalade Salami reports.
Among several objectives of establishing a company or a business venture is profit maximization. In addition to designing a blueprint to ensure steady profitability, a vibrant workforce of highly skilled personnel must be recruited with robust remuneration as motivation. With all parameters in motion, employers strive to expand the scope of operations. To thrive in the free market, adequately rewarding employees' commitment will boost productivity.
You align the interest of staff with that of the owners, or what you call, you are able to resolve the agency conflict that happens in business organizations when those who are driving the business are different from the owners. And because those who are driving the business want their interest to be furthered, it goes against the interest of those who are the owners, who are the residual beneficiaries of the performance of the company. So what we have done is to align those interests and ensure that people are paid enough for their effort on a monthly basis. People are promoted as at when due, exceptional performances are exceptionally rewarded, and then further cash reward in terms of bonus or share of profit is given to those who did very well based on their performance.
A scenario where there is disparity in income and mode of payment, Professor Ajibola submits that, given the scope of work handled by staff of the various ministries and agencies of government, salaries ought to reflect the current realities.
Where you have a common mandate that goes with key performance indicators, job security can also be threatened. So compensation follows this trajectory, the trajectory of what are my key performance indicators. How do I work around the clock to meet these indicators? And when I fail to meet these indicators, what becomes of my engagement in such an organization?
To sustain business operations and commitment of employees in both the public and private sectors, stakeholders agreed that proper remuneration stimulates better performance and service delivery. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
In the meantime, Nigerian nurses are advocating improved welfare packages across board as they join the rest of the world in commemorating the International Nurses Day. This position was put forward by the President, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Mike Nachi, during an interaction on the role of nurses in nation building. Thomas Obeteri reports.
Recent statistics suggest that more than 1.6 million healthcare workers in 34 countries, including Nigeria, have been infected by COVID-19 since the onset of the pandemic. It is situations like this that led to the setting of May 12 every year as International Nurses Day, basically to express gratitude to this group of health workers. Why this is gratifying, President of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Michael Nachi, says much more is desired given the value of nursing professionals to humanity.
When it comes to varieties or discrepancies in remuneration, yes, I know we have state, federal, and local government. Based on the important role the nurses and midwives play, and associated with discrepancies associated with the remuneration of nurses, I would rather call on the government to give the nurses special salary structure.
Nachi was quick to add that there is need to also employ more nurses, as the number of nurses currently engaged across the country fall short of the required numbers for Nigerians. He also wants government at all levels to always prioritize the welfare of health workers, especially nurses. In Abuja, Thomas Obeteri, NTA News.
To judiciary now, the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court declaring illegal the dissolution of elected officials at the local government level by some state governors has generated reactions from legal minds who describe the decision as a pivot for strengthening democratic governance in Nigeria. Dele Atumbi has the report.
The Apex Court, in its previous judgment on the subject matter, described the action of the governors as an executive recklessness. However, some legal practitioners have raised concerns as to the propriety of the judgment for elected officials to collect money for work not done.
Well, that is a welcome development, but my opinion, very humbly, is this. Yes, you've pronounced it illegal. Where do you go from there? Now, the court has directed that those chairmen and the councillors should be paid for work they were prevented from doing. And who bears the brunt? The state. Because while they were thrown away, some other people, in the name of caretaker or whatever, they were there, earning salaries, earning money, and what have you. Now the court has now directed that another payment be made to people who are prevented. So who is going to write off these laws?
Any caretaker committee is unconstitutional and contrary to the clear provisions of Section 7 of the Constitution. That is what the Supreme Court said.
Others are of the opinion that the court, in an attempt to cure a mischief, seems to have created another.
I think beyond just declaring it illegal, the court should go ahead and reinstate those people to their offices to go and complete their tenure and compel the usurpers to refund whatever allowances and salaries they have taken. I think if that is done, this will discourage the state executives from brazenly going ahead to dissolve the local government.
I verily do believe that the Supreme Court was right in the judgment declaring that dissolution of elected councils at the local government levels is illegal. That is because if you look at Section 12 of the Constitution, it talks about democratically run local governments in Nigeria.
They illegally entered here and they have been receiving salary. And Supreme Court has declared them illegal. Let them refund the salary they received.
This judgment by the Supreme Court on the illegality of dissolution of duly elected officials, legal experts opine, will go a long way in strengthening the local government administration as the third tier of government in Nigeria. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 is one piece of legislation that shifted the philosophy of mere punishment of offenders to broader objective of restorative justice with consideration of rights and interests of all stakeholders in the criminal justice sector. However, 6 years after its enactment, some grey areas have emerged arising from the decisions of courts. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chumba was at a validation workshop on the Act organized by the Center for Social Legal Studies in Abuja.
Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 repealed the Criminal Procedure Act and Criminal Procedure Code. The act was meant to promote efficient dispensation of justice. The gathering of selected stakeholders in the criminal justice sector was meant to validate the identified areas following decisions of court. Among them are the Supreme Court decision of elevated judges' conduct of cases, plea bargaining, and provision of electronic recording for the courts.
Who starting trials de novo, trial within trial. All of these things should be corrected. And happily, some states have said there should no longer be trial within trial.
The Delta State Administration of Criminal Justice Law made provision for defense counsel to equally furnish prosecution with a copy of whatever defense he may have.
They also agreed that the act has fulfilled its purpose.
No longer stopping of proceedings during trial, which is a complementary work to the EFCC's Establishment Act Section 40.
About 30 states in the Federation have adopted or domesticated the Act.
The explanatory note with cases is meant for easy comprehension of the Act. In Abuja, Vera Chumba, NTA News.
And in Lagos State, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is to create 4,861 additional polling units to bring the units closer to the electorates. This was disclosed by the state's Resident Electoral Commissioner, Sam Olumekun, at a stakeholders meeting in Lagos. Adiola Kamiakere reports.
Polling units or polling stations are important structures of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria. Having polling units close to voters will enhance quick and easy process of voting during elections. It is against this background that the Independent National Electoral Commission Lagos State met with stakeholders to intimate them of the proposed plan to increase polling units in the state ahead of the 2023 general election. The Commission's resident electoral commissioner, Sam Olumekun, explained that the move became necessary in order to tackle the usual voter apathy.
This is one of the reasons why we are expanding access to polling units, so that you will not say because my name is not on the register or the place is congested or it's far from my place and all that. So you can now have access to a place where you can vote.
Stakeholders at the forum commended INEC for the creation of additional polling units, noting that it will go a long way in enhancing voters' participation.
Expanding the polling units is one leg. The second leg is the issue of bringing those that are close to that vicinity, bringing them closer to that polling unit.
This is our pain and stress on election day, where you make voting accessible to them. I think it's a welcome idea.
The forum was part of sensitization and public enlightenment campaign for stakeholders by the Commission towards engendering active participation in future elections. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 has been reported out of contest and that Nigerians must wake up to the realities of the times and not be carried away as if the disease has been defeated. He stated this while addressing online publishers in Lagos, and Anthony Forson has that.
There's no new restrictions. Unfortunately, this thing has been reported out of context.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, said the restriction of movement, as is being reported, is not new, but lamented at the impression the people have about the disease and the disregard for the protocol.
What we did really is more to remind people of the extant regulations. Even when we eased the restrictions, the curfew between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. is still on. But Nigerians are behaving as if COVID has gone and gone forever. And this is the mistake India made.
Restating the government's resolve to contain the pandemic, he said the following instructions have been given.
If you are coming from Brazil, Turkey, or India, as a Nigerian, you must go for compulsory quarantine. The other, there's nothing we have changed. We never opened nightclubs. We never opened gyms. The regulation on face masks in public places is still in place. Social distancing is still in place, but nobody obeys it. Unfortunately, nobody, but you see, Nigeria has been very fortunate.
To this end, the minister appealed to the public to comply with the COVID-19 protocols to ensure that Nigeria achieve COVID-19 free status. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
On the next segment of News Extra, you would get to learn something about a fruit that is a favorite of many, including yours faithfully. More. The varieties and all the nourishing goodness hanging there for this and more on News Extra. Join us soon.
You can get more news and updates on www.nta.ng or follow us on our Twitter handle at NTA News Now. You can also like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/NTA Network News, and also stay connected and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Also remember to watch our news live streaming at www.nta.ng/live.
Thanks for staying. Presidential Power Initiative will unlock 25 gigawatts in 5 years, says Power Minister, as African Development Bank wants $5 billion mobilized for AFAWA, tackling youth unemployment in Africa. And Musa Abubakar tells us more on business news. So Musa, it's over to you.
Thank you, Fatima. The federal government says the current moves to revamp the power sector using the Presidential Power Initiative will yield about 25 gigawatts of electricity in the next 5 years. Speaking during a webinar with the Energy Transition Council, a body under the United Nations, Minister of State Power Godi J.D. Akba reassured that the government has the political will to make sure the goal is achieved. J.D. Akba explained that the country was experiencing a turning point in the power sector, noting that the ministry was exploring ways of localizing the energy value chain in Nigeria and giving priority to technology transfer and capacity building. The minister maintained that government's investment in alternative energy was not only aimed at providing improved power supply, but to create direct and indirect jobs for the teeming Nigerian youths, stressing that the federal government recognizes the need to embrace renewable sources of energy. Now, the African Development Bank has called for the support of African public development banks towards the affirmative finance action for women in Africa, AFAWA, as well as tackling youth unemployment on the continent. President of the AFDB, Akiwumi Additional, made the call at the Virtual Finance in Common Spring meeting. The meeting was convened in collaboration with the Association of African Development Finance Institutions and the International Development Finance Club. Additional said AFAWA was an initiative to mobilize $5 billion in new financing in support of women businesses in Africa. The AFDB president also called on the banks to tackle the challenge of youth unemployment on the continent, stressing that the two strategic actions will ensure financial stability of the continent and accelerate a post-COVID-19 economic recovery that was inclusive, green, and climate resilient. Well, that's business news. It's back to you, Fatima.
Well, thank you so much, Musa. That was quite interesting. Now, with the early onset of rains in the Middle Belt region, the thought of food sufficiency in the country is being threatened by high level of insecurity, which has prevented most farmers from accessing their farms, thereby dashing their hopes for a bumper harvest. To avert this, stakeholders and agricultural experts say governments at all levels must work towards tackling the security challenges. Tana Omar reports that providing incentives to farmers during this farming period will also boost food production in this country.
Benue State is popularly called the food basket of the nation. This is because the state produces every variety of crop in large quantity. For instance, the Zekibiam yam market is the largest yam market in West Africa, and also 90% of citrus produced in the country comes from Benue State. However, with the current security challenges, which ranges from banditry, kidnapping, communal crisis, herders farmers crisis, amongst others, the appellation of Benue State as the food basket of the nation seems to be threatened.
It has actually affected farmers adversely. One, many are now in IDP camps that are no more on the farms, and they cannot go back to their farms. And in that case, there will be no production.
About 9 local government areas in Benue State who are known for large production of maize, yams, cassava, citrus, amongst others, have been affected in recent attacks in these communities. This, the farmers said, has seriously threatened their productivity.
There is no food. Farmers are not able to go to their farms, which is making food, even right here in Benue State, so scarce. So it's terrible. In fact, food is so expensive that I'm wondering how it is in other states.
We may eventually go into starvation.
Agricultural experts and other stakeholders have appealed to the authorities concerned to address the security challenges and also provide incentives to cushion the effects during this farming period.
The government should go ahead and procure some of these crops, seeds. Once enough is procured for distribution to our rural farmers, we will achieve the food security.
Government should also look at the issue of insecurity critically, because that is what is affecting. It is not the drought, it's not the climate, it's not any other thing, but the insecurity that is making farmers not to be on their farms now.
There is no gainsaying that agriculture is the live wire of any nation. Therefore, it behoves on the federal government and other relevant stakeholders to put heads together to ensure that insecurity is tackled in our society so that it can boost agricultural production and ensure food sufficiency. In Makodi, Tena, Uma, NT News.
Now, a notorious drug baron and former vice chairman of Lagos Island East Local Council Development Area, LCDA, Asekun Kehinde Sakiru, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. In a statement released by the Director Media and Advocacy of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, says the suspect was apprehended with a kilogram of cocaine concealed in 5 pairs of palm slippers parked in his suitcase while trying to board a Virgin Atlantic Airline flight to London at the Lagos airport. He has been on the wanted list of the MMIA command of the agency in connection with a case involving one Aziz Adeniyi Ibrahim, who was arrested with 6.45 kilograms of cocaine in December 2020. The chairman of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Maram, however, urges those still engaged in drug trafficking to desist from such acts or face the wrath of the law. Now let's head to Benue again. Benue State probably got the appellation food basket of the nation because it never goes out of food season, particularly fruits. This time around, it is mangoes in all the nooks and crannies of the state. Mango fruits literally welcomes you and bids you farewell. But beyond its availability in different species, what are the health benefits? Godwin Inalego in this special report examines the various species of mangoes, their uses, origin, sources of names, and health benefits.
Mango fruit is an edible stone fruit produced by a tropical tree, Mangifera indica, believed to have originated from Asia, particularly northwestern Myanmar, Bangladesh, and northeastern India regions. With time, Nigeria is listed among mango-producing countries in the world, with Benue State accounting for the highest producer in the country. Regarded as the king of fruits, mango has hundreds of varieties with unique taste, shapes, sizes, and colors. Benue State can boast of a number of species of mangoes, including broken, Jolly, Peter, Hindi, Dausha, John Peter, and native ones. Then, how comes about the names of these mangoes?
The missionaries and the agronomists that established first the School of Agric in Yandef. This is the Agric station that was established in the 40s. The white men that brought these varieties we decided to name them. People during that era decided to name them after the people that introduced them to Benue.
In Makurdi, the Benue State capital, the price of mango varies according to the size, variety, and other factors, such as sources and transportation costs.
The market is not easy because the mango is very costly, even from the village. Bringing it here is not easy. First, you have to pay for transportation, and the transportation's money is not a small money. Not only that, buying mango from the trees, you have to pay money because they buy in baskets. So one basket now, they'll be telling you 7,000, 10,000, 9,000 before you full mato, another wahala.
Mercy Godwin, who has been in the business of selling mangoes at the railway market in Makurdi for over 10 years, says the business is lucrative.
There are some service customers that usually bought things from us.
A buyer, Dr. Auli Orave, says he cannot do without mango because of its health benefits.
I used to buy this and give to all my children, but from the look of things, I'm trying to cover 500 and I cannot go through around my 4 cheeks.
Selling this mango for me, the time is say 5 for 200 naira. So me, I'd imagine how we go to sell this mango.
David Eche Intonu, a clinical dietitian with the Federal Medical Center Makurdi, says mango is low in calories but full of nutrients, particularly vitamins that aid immunity, digestive health, and eyesight, as well as lower risk of certain cancers.
The health benefits of mango to humans are numerous, as it has chemicals that help in defending the body against cancer. It has high levels of vitamin A and vitamin C, which are good antioxidants that help to protect the body and to remove cholesterol from the system, thereby reducing incidence of heart diseases.
So, note that eating mangoes is not for the sake of being seasonal fruits, but for its health benefits. In Makurdi, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
I just love this fruit, mangoes, any day, anytime. A Bank of Industry-assisted technological company, Secure ID Nigeria Limited, with specialties in smart card manufacturing and integrated digital solutions, is the first smart card manufacturing plant to be certified in sub-Saharan Africa, capable of producing complex polycarbonate cards. Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, during a tour of the facility in company of the management staff, described the project as Africa's hub for digital solution. Abolade Salami reports.
The Bank of Industry, through its various credit facilities to companies and entrepreneurs at a single-digit rate, has contributed significantly to the survival of most enterprises in the country. One of their beneficiaries, Secure ID Limited, Africa's industry leader in card manufacturing and digital solutions, in offering superior end-to-end identity management and digital security solutions to public and private sectors in wide range of card production, such as EMV smart cards, GSM smart cards, magnetic stripe debit cards, loyalty cards, contactless dual interface chip cards, multi-purpose secure identity cards, and MyFAR cards, is said to be Africa's home for digital solutions.
And there will be no reason I can think of to importing voters' cards from China. There is no reason at all. We have the capacity to make 200 million cards here. I don't think our voters roll number up to 100 million. So we can do it here. There's absolutely no reason for state governments that are setting up, state register cards to import them here. It can be done here. And that's basically what we've demonstrated today. And that we can help ourselves by just creating jobs for Nigeria and exporting jobs to other countries.
For us as Secure ID, my belief very much is to build a generational company. Companies founded by entrepreneurs should not die with the entrepreneur. And what you have seen here is the journey in putting in place that structure that ensures that we have that strong foundation in ensuring that this company continue to exist and continue to thrive.
Vice President Yomi Oshibajo was given first-hand information about the capability of the security printing machines and other technological innovations in the manufacturing of unique products and services, where he assured the management of Secure ID of government supports at providing conducive environment for business to thrive.
We're extremely proud of your achievements thus far, and I believe that Nigeria's future will be defined substantially by how well we do in the three areas that Secure ID focuses on, notably security, identity, and manufacturing. Data is, as we all know, the future of the knowledge economy. Today, data is building up at lightning speed. Our personal data and even behavioral attributes are gathered as we access services on financial, social, and entertainment platforms.
And we will continue to support them because this is the right business for Nigeria, creating jobs for Nigerians, saving foreign exchange, and achieving what we call, import substitution.
With the growing trend in technology globally, management of Secure ID Limited says the indigenous smart card manufacturing company will continue to sustain its capability as a one-stop source for the latest in all forms of digital technology. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
In the meantime, as part of efforts to curb the excesses of commercial motorcyclists, the Federal Capital Territory is to commence the registration of motorbike riders linked with their national identification numbers for easy identification. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria agree that states must come up with more proactive measures that would not only get riders certified, but provide stringent punitive measures for traffic rules and regulations and security breaches by motorbike riders and their owners. Lydia Sampson reports.
Motorbike riders feel a gap in transport system in the rural areas is not in doubt. However, their continuous aggravation of insecurity in the country, key players agree, cannot be ignored. The unruly behavior of some motorbike riders, which prompted a ban on commercial motorbike operation in parts of the country, key players says is not enough.
Who is going to be registered? Is this the owner of this bike or is this the rider? In some cases, we're having a lot of challenges. There was a time we impounded over 1,155 motorbikes. And I assured you, out of that 1,155 motorbikes, more than 700 are not registered completely.
The state government, through the Board of Internal Revenue and their VIO, register vehicles and then license drivers and riders. However, the FRSC takes the data so that we can have a national data.
75% of motorcycles have not registered. The plate number that they used to give to motorcycle, that is the one that they are giving tricycle as of now. In terms of the new development that say the VIO are ready to partner, we are ready to partner with them so that to register our members. We are the one that used to disturb them.
We are already having a handshake with the NIMC, so that we can be able to get that information seamlessly as we are trying to register you. Even if you don't even have the name, you can be able to do it and then ensure that it is hooked to your registration.
The guests are optimistic that with renewed commitment from all stakeholders, the use of licensed motorbike will go a long way at identifying and fishing out criminals in the country. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Victims Support Fund Task Force on COVID-19 has handed over solar-powered borehole, water sanitation and hygiene facilities worth millions of naira to 3 secondary schools in Taraba State. Correspondent Jubreen Musa reports.
Victims Support Fund has successfully executed the first and second phase of intervention programs, which comprises of the distribution of food, medical and personal protectives in the 19 states of the Federation. As part of its third phase intervention, the Victims Support Fund has commenced handover of water, sanitation and hygiene facilities to 54 schools in 18 states of the country. Taraba State, one of the benefiting states, was handed over a solar-powered borehole and hygiene facilities worth millions of naira.
To ensure that we support our children, our teachers and non-academic staff with, hygiene practice.
Governor Darius District Ishaku, represented by the State Commissioner of Health, appreciated the gesture and tasked the benefiting schools on the effective utilization of the facilities.
Areas that have inadequate supply of water, those boreholes were donated in order to aid the supply of this water in order to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
The Principal Government Commercial Secondary School Takum hails the Victims Support Fund for coming to their aid.
Students move from here to the main road to fetch water, but now we fetch our water in the campus.
Similar facilities will be handed over to schools across the state in the country. In Jalingo, Jibril Musa, NTA News.
Beautiful gesture, I must say. So far, so good. I urge you not to miss out on what is coming up after this next break we are about to take as security holds sway. We also have the story of the unfortunate gas explosion that claimed lives in Abuja. Please stay. You're welcome. Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, said efforts are being sustained at all levels to reposition the Nigerian Army towards confronting all security challenges in the country. The Army Chief was speaking during firepower demonstration at Victor Kune Armor Shooting Range, Bauchi, as part of activities marking the end of 2021 Combat Arms Training Week held at Bauchi. Awal Abdullahi reports.
The Combat Arms Training is an annual event usually hosted by Infantry and Armor Corps of the Nigerian Army, with the theme Capacity Building in the Combat Arms, a prerequisite for countering contemporary security challenges. The training is aimed at assessing combat readiness and efficiency of the Infantry and Armor Corps of the Nigerian Army.
We must be prepared to adapt to new realities as we project into the future. The stability of the country, the future of the Nigerian Army rests squarely on your shoulders and subsequent generations after you.
The event is a major Army headquarters training activity that provides a unique forum where the combat arms meet to critically analyze their performance in ongoing operation.
In another development, troops of Operation Hatinkai yesterday evening foiled attempts by Boko Haram insurgents to attack communities on the outskirts of Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. A statement by Director, Army Public Relations Brigadier General Mohammed Rerima says the attackers attempted attack on soft targets along Jidari Polo, but were countered by combined gallant troops in conjunction with the Nigerian police, youth vigilante and hunters, leading to terrorist withdrawal in disarray. Following a hot pursuit by troops, heavy casualty was inflicted on the terrorists as 9 of them were neutralized, while many escaped with gunshot wounds. The statement also said 1 Buffalo gun truck, 3 motorcycles, 3 Browning machine guns, a rocket-propelled gun, and 4 AK-47 rifles were recovered from the terrorists, in addition to 1 IED and other items. The Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Attahiru, commended the gallantry of troops and urged them to keep up the tempo of the counterinsurgency operations. And the Director General, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, says, henceforth, there will be no hiding place for human traffickers across the country. He was speaking while briefing newsmen in Kano on the successful joint operations conducted by NAPTIP and Border Task Force, where 52 victims were rescued. Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
From 30th April 2021 to date, 52 victims of human trafficking were rescued by NAPTIP special operation in Kano, Katsina and Jigawa states, following an intelligence report from the National Diaspora Commission. Most of the victims were rescued while on transit from Delta, Imo, Edo, Ogun, Oyo and Ondo states, a route to Europe through Libya. However, out of the 52 victims, 48 are females and 4 remaining males between the ages of 16 and 34.
I thank God say I'm not going. If I reach that place, if my life don't come back, so I still thank God say I will soon come back to my house. I'm not going Libya again.
I thank NAPTIP officers for rescuing my life because I wasn't told that this is how the journey is going to be. I wasn't told I'll pass through deserts and all other things. So I thank NAPTIP for rescuing me, and I'll be very, very happy to go back to my home, to go back to my parents.
At present, 4 suspected human traffickers are in NAPTIP custody for investigation.
Anything I do, make and forgive me. I no go try me. Anytime I try me again, or when I see me for this condition, anything I like, make and do me.
If God really save me for this mess, I will be thank God. I will not do that again in my life.
The Director General, Iman, commended other security agencies for their support in fighting human trafficking.
To assure you that the operation is still ongoing. So our target number is more than 100 and we will continue doing it. And I assure you that the agency under the leadership of Hajia Iman Suleiman Ibrahim will make it difficult for the human traffickers to smuggle victims, particularly here in northern states.
She therefore warned parents to protect their children from being exploited into slavery in the name of seeking greener pasture abroad. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
40 years after his departure, his messages, especially the need to end oppression, discrimination, bad governance, and in turn enthrone unity and peace among African countries, still resonate. At the center of this commemoration at Ignatius Ajuri University of Education is Bob Marley, African reggae legend. Now, Kingsley Amajiri has the story.
These are some of those who share in the messages Bob Marley lived for. From Emancipate Africa, Africans Unite, One Love, Let's Get Together, the Political Science Department of the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, Port Harcourt, and these reggae lovers are united here to reenact Bob Marley's vision for Africa.
So the relevance of Bob Nesta Marley's message still stands today, even better, because we have been deprived from the people we call the Western colonization and all those people. Now what a black man does to a black man is even worse than what a white man did to a black man. Reality is the fact that you take a look around you. This is Nigeria, and we have a lot of resources, but a few people, the same brothers, the same sisters who are there, who have the opportunity, are grabbing and grabbing continually just for themselves and their family alone, while the other people suffer in penury.
General idea or the knowledge about Bob Marley is all about African unity, you understand, African liberation and freedom.
Guest lecturers at this event who spoke on the theme Bob Marley and Pan-African Movement said the reggae star was a visionary with a dream to liberate Africa via his music.
Music is not only for entertainment, but also for education, particularly philosophical, ideological education.
But the concern among some stakeholders is the fact that oppression, racism, and disunity still manifest among African countries.
Bob Marley was the dominant figure in the musical section.
And then within the content of the musical, you see the main ingredients of Pan-Africanism, the ideas of unity, liberation, exploitation, colonialism, slave trade. They are all embedded in Bob Marley's lyrics.
Why did they present a platform for reggae lovers to remember Bob Marley? For the academia, especially political scientists, it is a day to reflect on the true essence of Pan-Africanism. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Oh, Bob Marley there, always celebrated, any day, anytime. Now to sports update with Clement Olorutoba.
With less than 3 months to the start of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, many nations, including Nigeria, are on the verge of securing qualification in various disciplines through some international competitions across the globe. Having picked tickets in taekwondo, wrestling, basketball, para-powerlifting, gymnastics, badminton, boxing, rowing and canoeing, Nigeria turned attention to some athletics events and para-athletics. As we speak, a Nigerian contingent is in Northwell, Switzerland for their final qualifiers.
We picked subs and slots from Tunisia, and while we are here in Northwell, Switzerland, I'm sure we get more slots, more Olympic slots. And at the end of the day, we'll be back on the 18th of May this month. And at the end of the day, I'm sure that the country will be happy, and the minister will also be happy for our efforts, because we received all the necessary support we have from the minister and the ministry.
Recall that Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, on May 3, 2021, visited Nigeria's relay team at their camp in Abuja. The team is currently in Texas for qualifiers, having arrived on May 9.
For some of the relays, we have 4-5 slots left, from 2 now. We have 4-5, some we have 3. So the chances are brightening. There are chances, and we're going to fight for every available slot to be on the relay teams.
In February this year, African Judo Union listed Nigeria's Mku Ekuka among 33 judokas from the continent who have qualified for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics after her 620 points placed her among the top 16 women judokas in Africa. Ekuta will be Nigeria's sole representative in judo, minus 63 kg women at the Games.
She's one of those we are looking forward to as Nigeria as a medalist at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics finals when it finally comes.
As from the 20th of June this year, Team Nigeria and indeed the rest of the world will confirm the books as far as the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games are concerned. In Abuja, Clement Olorutoba, NT News.
Oh, thank you so much, Clement, for that. With that, we conclude News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. But before I go, remember to be a star. Connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. So I would just say enjoy the celebration. Good night. I am Fatima Umarububa.